Hey, Larry Satchwell here. I'm on a mission today to save some daffodils. I'm not sure if it's the county or the electric company that sprays this hill, but as you can see, all vegetation on this hill is dead. It's very steep. I'm not sure why these daffodils survived. Maybe they sprayed it at the wrong time of the year, but it looks like they're probably going to spray it again. So there are probably 50 daffodils up here that I want to move to the garden. It's very rocky and it's got a lot of dead roots in it, but with the fork here, I can loosen these bulbs enough to pull them out and tap. Yeah, it is really steep over here. I'm not sure I can get these. This is not an abandoned farm. When I worked at Richards Middle School, one of my students, her father imported bulbs from Holland. And I would buy 100 bulbs for him all 3 years I worked there. So at one time there were 300 bulbs on this bank. I have found people taking them, just like I am. But I'm the one that planted them. So I'm going to try to risk arm and limb and get over there and get those last few. I was a lot younger when I planted these. That was the hard part. It's probably not the right time of year to plant bulbs, but instead of risking storing these over the summer, I'm just going to cut the foliage off here. This will go in the compost pile and plant these. There's actually more than I thought there were. Now, not all of these are going to bloom next year, but they will be in the ground and bloom in the future. That one's probably going to rot, so I'm not going to put it in. Hopefully now this is the easy part. I've got this spot here. It's got these perennial weeds in here. We actually closed down this hill for 2 years trying to get rid of this weed. If any little bit is left in the ground, it will sprout, and it's a perennial. It doesn't come up from seed, it comes up from the ground. I love daffodils. You know, when the daffodils are blooming, spring is right around the corner. And winter's a great time of year, but there's nothing like spring in Georgia. So I got a little over half of these planted and realized I was not filming. But I found the best way to do this is to plant some and then cover those and dig another trench. Still looking for those roots to that perennial. I think it's called Carolina chrysanthemum, but I'm not sure. I think I've got most of it out. It'll come back. I know there's some in there. There's one of the bulbs I just planted. I'm in pretty heavy clay right here. This is not enriched soil by any means. My mother-in-law called this a hula hole. I'm not sure what its really main name is, but it does a great job of slicing through this clay. So it's best to loosen the soil leave a few inches if you can. Here in Georgia, near Atlanta, we don't really need to plant them that deep. If you miss one and plant it sideways or laying down, it will reorientate itself and come up straight. It won't grow sideways. And not all these are going to bloom. But I stopped working at Richards Middle School in 1990. And these were not your run-of-the-mill bulbs. These were from the importer. So they are frilly. They have different colored centers. Hate that weed. I try to plant at least 100 bulbs every year. And some of those are mid-season and some of them are late season, but most of them are on sale. Well, if you're still with me, thanks for watching. I'm going to cover these up and put some mulch over the top and wait for next spring. See ya.